So hello and welcome to another Magic the Gathering video. So this is an episode of the deck Durdle, specifically Urza Saga. So I've virtually opened 6 packs of Urza Saga and I'm going to build a deck from that. At the moment I'm on the MT Gen website and I'm in the Urza Saga section, and these are the 6 packs that I've generated. That's the original ones. And just looking at the rarities to give us some idea of where we might go with this. So we've got Abyssal Horror, Gothian Enchantress, Faith Healer, Grafted Skullcap, Sunder, and Thran Quarry, which is a rare land. At the end of each turn, if you control no creature, sacrifice Thran Quarry, tap, add 1 mana of any colour to your mana pool. And as we come around and have actually a look at these, so I've already preloaded these cards up into Architect, and we will start having a look and seeing what we might want to build around here. So in the set itself, it's an enchantment heavy set. It is also artifact theme, but it is enchantment heavy. There's also cycling in here and echo as well. And if you want a better overview of the set, then I suggest you watch the set musings video that I previously did to accompany this set. Goblins are a thing in here as well. We've also got, let me just switch the artwork on that so you actually know what it is. So what had happened was, and I not so much glossed over it, but I did sort of point it out when I did the set musings. You'll notice that when you look at the number of cards in the set, there's an extra, I think about 6, possibly 6 cards, and that's down to the fact that there, for 6 cards, there's alternate artwork. And my understanding was this is for the Chinese market, where you can't show, skeletons or bones or anything like that. So that was the difference between, that's why this one, let me see if I can, you can see there, they've been removed. And there was a few other pieces of artwork where that was the case. They either completely changed the artwork or removed the component of it that had parts of a skeleton in it. And that's my understanding anyway of what had gone on there. So I'm just clearing out those so you can actually see the proper names. Okay, so what do we have here? So I'm just going to look and see what instant speed removal we've got here. So being that artifacts and enchantments were a thing in the set, no surprise to see something that specifically targets those. I will, I think, sideboard that. Let me just open up a sideboard here. Okay, that's my sideboard opened up. Where's my instance gone? Okay, breach. Target creature is plus 0 until end of turn. That creature cannot be blocked set by creatures. Dark Ritual, okay. All attacking creatures gain first strike until end of turn. So that's green hate. We'll just move that over. When I did the set musings, I did mention that And there was a good degree of enemy colour hate going on here. Destroy target artifact. I'm going to sideball that for the moment. You can see it looks like there wasn't a massive pool of artifacts here actually, so it's more destroy enchantments. There's a red's got cycling on it. Cycling appeared in quite a few of the colours. Okay, there's a bounce spell. Pump spell. Tellurian winds, discard your hand. Okay, card draw. What do we got in sorcery speed? Card draw. Victimize. So there's graveyard stuff going on as well. So we don't have a ton of removal. Interesting. See. What I'm curious about. It looks like I'm going to have to play black if I want removal. I wonder what a black-red deck would look like. Before I make a decision, let's have a look at the enchantments. Actually, before I do, let's do the artifacts. Sacrifice a permanent, gain 1 life. Yeah, let's just sideboard that. Discard a card. Okay. Thumb Quarry. Smouldering Craters. That's one of the cycling lands. Remote Isle. Says that. Polluted Mire. Because they were all at common, so we got quite a few of those. So if I go down the cycling route, I really need to want to go down reanimation as well. And I don't know if I've got enough support cards to do that, but we'll start digging through and seeing what we've got. Okay. Oh, there's these as well. These come back, don't they? Okay. There's another one. Destructive Urge. We got a whole load of them. Oh yeah, these verse counters. There's Opal Gargoyle. Power Taint. Jump with cycling on it. Okay. I'm going to get rid of those runes for the moment. Okay, so they're in blue. So I seem to remember that was right. So Abyssal Horror was in a white, blue, black theme deck of the time, which focused on cycling and reanimation. Unfortunately, I don't see anything like don't see Exhume. I do have a Victimize. This is not looking brilliant at the moment in terms of support cards. Let's see what I'll... I'm definitely getting pulled towards black-red, I think. That's where I want to go with this. Okay, so Abyssal Horror, Anaconda... Where are most of my cool enchantments? I think what I will do, for fun, I will build 2 decks today. We'll do a red-black one, and then we'll see where we go with some sort of green-blue monstrosity. And see if I can leverage some of this counterspell stuff in addition to some of the enchantments. It's quite good. One of the advantages of doing the set musings episode, and I would ask you to you'll get a better, I think going forward you're going to get a better understanding of what I'm doing when I'm doing Sealed Pool. If you watch that episode, if you haven't done already, it gives you a better overview of the set, unless of course you're already familiar with the set, because as a result of that I'm definitely going to be less likely to go through these cards individually in terms of the creatures at the very least, because I've got a better idea already about cards in the set. So I find that as I'm looking through these and I see certain names coming up, I'm already in my head starting to formulate a plan, whereas when I hadn't been doing those set musings episodes, I was definitely having to, the first time I'd seen the cards was when I was doing the set, the Sealed Pool build in the Deck Durdle episode. So let us open up a maybe board. So we'll just pick a blue card. So I'm going to maybe board, was it blue, white and green? Okay, I don't even know if I want to have any cycling land in this deck. Just trying to think what the I mean, it thins the deck out. I'll tell you what, let me sideboard the on colour ones for the moment. I want that. Do I want that? Draw an additional card. Discard your... No. No. That will be better off in a... Graveyard Matters deck. Okay. Oh, let's move that blue. See where we go with this. Did I accidentally? Just check that. No. Let me just take that down a notch. That's better. Now I can drag and drop these a bit easier. It is interesting when you look at this set, like the cards in here, as I've said on numerous occasions when I was doing the episode of the set musings that goes with this. What's this? It's flying until end of turn. No, not really. Yeah, just the power level. I'll see how desperate I get for creatures. But yeah, the power level's through the roof on a lot of these cards. I didn't actually look specifically to see how many of the so-called free spells we had in blue. Right. Red black it is. Not a ton of creatures. Let's just check. 2 for 3. 2 for 3 with Swamp Walk. Got a Cackling Fiend. Oh. So that's interesting, a 2/1 for 1, but this big downside: whenever Goblin Cadets blocks or becomes blocked target, opponent gains control of it. So you're all right as long as your opponent's not playing anything. I suppose if we're aggressively emptying their hand, that might work in this deck. fact, let's actually, I'll come back to that. Goblin Matron. Okay, Goblin Patrol has Echo. 2-1 for 1, but we've got to remember to pay the Echo cost. It's got Mountain Walk. Okay. Wow. Okay, this is cool. So we've got First Strike. Yeah. Yep. Cool. Let me just put that over there for the moment. So basically we need to get this down a bit. Excuse me while I have a sip of beverage. So we need to get this down to 24 cards, and I don't really want to take any creatures out of here. So, how many copies of Despondency and Reflex do I want? Well, let's just tick them down. And I can always tick them back up again if I remove anything here. Okay, that's cool. I want to keep the Dark Ritual in. Headlong Rush. The creatures go First Strike until end of turn. Okay. Befoul, yep. Victimize. Okay, that's fine, because I could sack. Goblin Cadets would be a good sack outlet to victimize. How much do I need to duress their hand? Okay, what do I want to get rid of here? What's this? I don't know if I want to be destroying my own land. Decisions. I'm going to take out the Despondency. I don't know whether it's any good in here. So we got to pull down 2. Do I really want to lose any more creatures? Let's just try and see what the deck looks like this. I don't know if I want Yeah, these might be too many. Even that takes me down to 14 creatures. Okay, let's see what my stats say. So, yep, slightly more black than red. But we do have some dark rituals here, so we could probably afford to get the two, the makeup of the land a bit closer to parity. I should have probably brought these across first, but never mind. Oops. What am I doing? So if you remember, this has some pretty cool lands in the set. So let's first of all get that artwork changed to properly reflect what's in here. Looks good. Oops. What am I doing? Oh yeah. I just love the mountains in this. Right. So we'll lose that. Bring back our... Where did I put it? I thought I had dragged in a utility land here, and so I put it down here by mistake. That's it. Oops. There we go. So we'll have a look at the curve. I got a whole ton of 3-drops. And a 6-drop. Right, let's see what this looks like. See if I have the normal trouble with the playtest feature here. I'm going to deliberately go in and out just to check that that's all. Yep, good. It's alright, I've got an add in here which is interfering. I'm just going to switch it off. Just make sure that it doesn't. It's still doing it. Oh well, it's alright, we can see it up here, so I'm not too worried. So we do a 1-drop shower of sparks. Before we can't get out till turn 4. The interesting thing here, we've actually got enough mana to make 4 land drops. Unfortunately, we're short on swamps at the moment because Befal's like double black. Let's just have a quick look. Oh, and there's a dark, sorry about that, there's a dark ritual, just what we need. Goblin Patrol. Well, that's not too shabby. Let's just see what we get. Okay, so turn 3 Goblin Matron. We have 1 swamp currently. An Abyssal Horror, Befoul, Reflexes, which is a 1-drop. You have to have an enchantment, a creature to enchant it against. Goblin Spelunkers. So hopefully we don't get too... Okay, so we've got a mountain. That means we... Okay, so this is a bit of a slower hand going on here. Is that swamp and a mountain? Can't play anything at the moment until turn 3. So it does look that this particular build would be a bit on the slow side in certain draws. So, like, it's not one of those red-black decks which is aggressive from out the gate. What it seems to be doing is it would sort of, well, yeah, I don't know if you could call it red-black control, but we're sort of, through a lot of these cards, we're depriving our opponent of certain resources. Now, looking at this, of course, as soon as I think about control, I'm assuming that, you know, there is a possibility of a blue-black deck here as well. The only thing is, most of the blue stuff looks to be all the cards. Yeah, so we've got card draw and we've got enchantments, but I'm not sure how strong. What have we got? We do have hibernation, but it's green, and that counts as enchantments or artifacts. Do we have anything specifically in blue? Yeah, that could be a bit problematic. I don't think I'm going to bother, but that might be something that might be worth bearing in mind, is instead of playing red, play blue for this. Not sure. I was going to, however, have a look at, well, let me just see if I can do this anyway on the way there, because I've got to pull blue and green in. So we will have a quick look. I'm not going to play any opening hands for this, but I'm going to have a quick look and see how blue-black might look. just purely from a card selection standpoint. I mean, I don't know how strong this is going to be, simply because there's so much enchantment stuff going on, but without green, I'm not sure how synergistic it is with the black cards, or with itself, if that makes sense. I mean, there might be something going on here. See? Just reopen up an enchantment slot. Something at sorcery speed. See, these are interesting cards. See, what we seem to have done by removing red and adding blue is we've gained a sort of ton of support cards and a load of enchantments. But I say a load of enchantments. A few more enchantments. We'd basically have to pull out 5 cards here. At this point in time, actually, we have slightly more creatures, which is interesting. There must be multiple copies. That's probably why I didn't. Yeah, so that's probably why I didn't notice, is that several of these there's actually 2 of. So that would explain why we've ended up with more creatures than the red black builds. So yeah, there's quite a bit of bounce going on here. Oh, sorry, that was an enchantment, my mistake. Yeah, also now we're a bit lower. So we've got quite a few more enchantments. So I'd probably be tempted to run 1-ofs. How would this pan out, just looking at it purely, like I said, without adding any land or doing anything? This is a bit too conditional. That's the only trouble. Okay, let's bring in the rest of the green stuff. Have a look. I did want to try out blue, black, white, but there's just not enough cards here to support a sort of, that really sweet spot between cycling and reanimation that you get. I just don't see it myself. That's the trouble with reanimation, is you've got to have something in there that's going to facilitate, you know, getting it into the graveyard. And I don't see enough of those cards. So the reason why I'm just trying this green-black is I noticed an enchantment synergy within here. Also, of course, green-black, green-blue. I also noticed we were getting mana ramp. So I was interested in whether any mana ramp and or card draw that we might see in blue might work well together. While I'm down here, let's just move this out. You can see we've got a fairly low count of like non-sideboard white cards, but I will have a look. No, I don't see anything that's going to support a graveyard theme. Okay, that's sometimes why it's where you find other reanimation type cards or cards that you could cycle and then get back. I suppose that, yeah, a bit too dependent on what your opponent's playing, that's the trouble. Whoa, okay. So I've got a ton of creatures. Oh, and actually that's not right, because a lot of these I just dragged in. Sorcery speed. Wow, yeah, it's definitely green blue, heavy on the enchantment. Okay, so let's just look at this quick. So 3/3 for 4 with Swamp Walk. We have a card which, if we play enchantments, of which we have many, we're going to get card draw. That's just 3/3 for 4 with Trample. Cradle Guard has Trample and Echo on it. Disruptive Student, counter target spell, okay. Horseshoe Crab, we get to untap it. Fair enough. Okay. 2/2 for 1 with Echo. Sandbar Serpent. 3/4 for 5 with Cycling. Spire Owl. Or we get to manipulate top 4 cards of our library when it comes into play. And Wizard Mentor bounces this and another creature. Are there any interesting creatures with ETBs on them where we could leverage that? I don't really see that myself. I mean, I suppose we could bounce a spell and then cycle it. You know. Okay, so I'm going to reduce these. We got 27. We've got to lose 3 cards. What's that? Horseshoe Crab aggro. Yeah, I don't think so. Well, I suppose we could... Well, saying that, what about Horseshoe Crab Voltron? We just We got anything in here that we can see? No, all of our enchantments are things in their own right. Did most of our pool, I'm just trying to think, like, right, most of our cool sort of pump enchantments exist in red or black, because that's just given me an idea. Yeah, I'm just gonna look at this curve. I don't know if this is even worth doing. Yeah, it's not. It's an interesting deck. What the hell would I lose here? This does not look good. Yeah, it's pretty thin. Yeah, no, I'm not going to even bother putting land this, I don't think. Yeah, so I'll probably go with the red-black one. And the ones I looked at. I'm just seeing if there's any other thing I've overlooked. Yep, so I think with this particular pool, red-black is the best angle. We don't have anything particularly useful in white. The green-black might be... Yeah, see, we lost a lot of our red creatures. Again, I do know. So of course you go down the predictable route, which is red-green. Because we had quite a lot of echo, didn't we? So I know red-green echo's a thing in here. So that might be the other angle actually I didn't necessarily explore. Would be a red-green deck. In fact, that might work. As something I haven't tried yet would be the red-green. Just looking at the cards and thinking what the red-black looked like. So yeah, so those were probably my suggestions with this pool. Actually, is to either stick with the red-black build or go red-green. I'm not sure where black-green would take us. See, we need the black for the removal. red removal wasn't super strong. That's the only downside. Just something to note, and I did mention it in the set musings, and going forward in set musings I'll probably go into them in a bit more detail, but I did mention the theme decks. And sometimes when you're looking for inspiration for card pools, if you know what the theme decks look like, that can be helpful. So there was a white-black control deck, a theme deck, which focused around sort of pestilence, but had things like pariah and worship in it. There was a mono white weenie theme deck, which exploited the sleeping enchantments in white, like actually I'll tell you what, let me bring this up on screen so you can see what the hell I'm talking about. So white black combo, Pariah and Worship with the rares, Baron's Coding, Opal Titan for the white weenie deck, a special delivery which was the red green, which made me think about red green. Now the problem with these is, actually they were all in the set. Obviously some of the later theme decks in the block are only relevant where, you know, for inspiration, where you might be doing a pool that's the same sort of makeup, that contains the same sets. So what I mean by that is, if I'm looking at, you know, if I'm building an Urza's Legacy pool just from the Urza's Legacy set, looking at the Urza's Legacy theme decks probably doesn't really help me, because they have cards from the, you know, any previous sets in the block. Whereas if I'm building like what I call a proper pool from Urza's Legacy, which would be Urza's Legacy plus previous set or sets, then it's going to be a bit easier to map that somewhat onto themes in the theme decks. So yeah, special delivery was the red green one, and you can see here I've got parts of this. And then there was the tombstone one, which is where I thought gave me the nudge to thinking about reanimated decks in white, blue, black. Okay, so there we go. That's today's deck Durdle done with. Hope you've enjoyed that. It's always enjoyable making these, and it's always good to see what sort of bounces out. Sometimes it goes better than others. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye for now.